Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome here to Papua New Guinea. Taking you guys to a new place today, out to Haya, and following that I'll be going out to Gawasa. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a 20-minute flight. On fuel pump on. Hello, start. Get my fuel on, and once oil pressure starts coming in, we'll throw in our fuel. And it tops out at about 600. Alright, once they've disconnected the start cart generator on, alternator on, once the amps drop on down, and the auxiliary bus, get a prop forward. Caps and selectors, controls are good. We're going up to 10,000 today, and to get over top of one mountain basically, and then dropping all the way back down to like 2,000 feet. You guys are in the market for sunglasses. I've got these on my site. I've been using them for almost a year now, and yeah, they're still holding up really good. I really enjoy them. Crocodile November Tango Zulu, request taxi Haya 9er POB.
Tango Zulu, Gork Tower, taxi 17, left and backtrack line up 102.
1021, clear to backtrack and line up 17 left, November Tango Zulu. Alright, well, it looks like the clouds are slowly working their way into the valley and filling it up. Go over speed real quick. Crocodile November Tango Zulu, ready for departure.
Tango Zulu 17 left, right hand clear to takeoff.
17 left, right turn, clear for takeoff, November Tango Zulu. Ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses, 21 degrees, so 1390. There's torque is set. Airspeed's alive. Rotating at 60 knots today. There's 60. And just to get over top of this little cloud, kind of broken layer here, we're just gonna go ahead and pitch for 73 knots initially. That's going to give us our most amount of altitude and the shortest distance. Pitch up around 14 degrees on my attitude indicator here, and that's going to give me my 73 knots, or really close to around that. Alright, that looks like it's clearing me enough for what I need. I'm going to go ahead and make a right-hand turn, and we're going to head out the call gap today. Nose on over a little bit. It's actually not as much as more of a scattered cloud layer rather than a broken like that looked like from the ground. At over 85 knots, we'll go 10 degrees of flaps. Over 90 and climb, we'll go 0 and bring our prop to 2,000 RPM. We'll leave it there for the whole climb and the rest of the flight as well. And this is a place that I actually filmed a video, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and the audio was all messed up. So this is the first time I've been able to take you guys out here. I'm excited. It rained last night. We've been sitting on the ground for about an extra hour waiting for the fog to clear. But they just let me know that it did clear. So hopefully it stays cleared. Crocodile November Tango Zulu. Departed time 09er. Tracking 207 on climb 10,000, estimating Haya 29er. Looks like I have to make a right turn. I'm not going to be able to climb over this quite yet.
Tango Zulu copied, and your trackout box?
207, November Tango Zulu.
November Tango Zulu, confirmed that south of the Coco?
We'll be tracking through the call initially.
November Tango Zulu, copy, it must be 120.1, no contact 6598 at 38, 150 in the Coco.
120.16598 or 38 in the Coco, November Zulu. So the Coco is just basically the lowest spot going out of the Garoka Valley in this direction. It's just a lower gap. There's a school out there, done some motorcycle riding out there, really beautiful place. And yeah, like I said, I'm really hoping that it's cleared out enough. Looking at the Windy app, just the satellite picture to see there, it looks like there's quite a few clouds just looking out this way here. Yeah, you can see there's just a lot of clouds out this morning. All right, turn our toes off so we're not getting yelled at when we head over top of this ridge. I'm actually going to just put my terrain map on here, just so you guys can kind of get a better picture, maybe, of with as many clouds as it is. I do like to put the terrain map on this big map here. It just gives you a better situational awareness. I don't like normally flying with it unless there's just a lot of clouds out, and I mean, I've flown this route a billion times, so I know where I am. But if you're in an unfamiliar place, that is a really nice tool to have. This is what it looks like, just a little bit closer up. So red, you're dead. Yellow, you're basically within 100 to 1,000 feet over top of the terrain. We're going to be going up to 10,000. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go up there now. Well, I have two ways to get there. Basically, I can head over top of the mountains. Let me bring it up on the iPad in a second and show you. Once I get around this corner, I'll determine if I want to go the high route or if I want to try to go the low route. With how many clouds there are, the low route might not work. And I don't want to waste my time going over there because it's a longer way out of the way. And if it doesn't work, now I have to climb back up and I have to go over the highway. Orsby 120.1, November Tango Zulu transfer.
November Tango Zulu, Mosby, transmission.
Rating is strength 3, November Tango Zulu through the call on climb 10,000. Estimating higher time 29er.
November Tango Zulu, RQNH 1011, no reported traffic.
1011, no traffic, November Tango Zulu. If you guys are into flight simming and you want to fly this exact same route, we'll leave a link down to my Patreon page where you guys can actually fly the same place out here to Haya. I'm not 100% sure if it's on Microsoft Flight Sim or not, but you can fly the same route regardless. And I'll put my charts on there so you guys can see what the runway actually looks like, if it actually is there, and also my track that I'm actually doing today so you can follow along. It's a really cool low route that you can actually fly down here. I've taken you guys a few times. Really beautiful though. All right, I'm a 10,000. Looks like it's going to take me maybe a couple hundred feet higher than that just to get over top of this layer here. And it looks like the high route's probably going to be the best route today. For sure get there. Only problem with going the high route though is there's a potential that it's just full-on overcast at that higher level, and then I'm not going to be able to get back down. So we will see once I get up here. We're going to be flying over a place called Ubai Gubai, and at that point we'll determine. It looks like I might still have to just go up to 12,000, which still isn't my minimum safe. It looks like that's quite a bit higher. I'm actually going to go back down. We'll muck around in the clouds for a little bit, because it looks like I'm going to have to go up to 13,000. There's a lot down here. Well, we'll see. These mornings just make it difficult to get where you want to get. I think I'm just going to stay at 10,000 and then fly over here and see if the low route works today, because high route doesn't look like it's going to work unless I'm at 13,000. Right, to give you guys an idea where I am going, I'm heading down to a place right around in there, and normally the high route has come over here and then drop down. Low route has come through this little place over here, the Mayamafu Gap. Mayamafu, yeah, I think that's what it is, Mayamafu Gap. I think I get around through there around 6,000 feet. Just bring open the waypoints. It's not really showing me any, but yeah. Anyways, that is my plan for today. We've got a second before we get down into Haya. I'm actually going to bring the strip chart open now while I have time and space to think. So the pattern altitude is going to be 3360. We'll just bump it up to 3,400 feet. Make sure the touchdown zone isn't any different. Oh, it's not. This pattern is going to be a right-hand pattern, kind of non-standard. We've got a couple of hills to go around. And go around's going to be at the river, power up 20 degrees, right-hand turn, basically a teardrop back out. 500 meters long with a 2.5% slope. It rained last night, so this place gets very slippery. They put in some drains, I don't know, 6 months ago or so, last time I was out this way. It has this red clay that's just like ice when it gets wet, so there's a good chance it's going to be very slippery and wet. Well, you guys can see right up ahead, well, obviously there's a bunch of clouds, but where it's really kind of brighter out there, kind of off to like maybe the 1 o'clock, that's kind of where my gap is. So I'm going to head on over that way, and if I can't get through at 10,000 and then start dropping down. My next stop is going to be Guwasa, which is like, I'm going to be flying directly over top of it. So actually I'm going to turn over there now, that I can get a good look at it and make sure that hopefully I'll be able to get back in here and pick up some coffee on my way back. Okay, looking down where the gap is, it looks like it is clear, but I'm going to be able to just pop over everything at this altitude, so I might as well just stay at this altitude rather than going down at cloud layer and having to be close to terrain and a lot of clouds. Alright, there's Guwasa right there, down below me. It looks like their pattern is open and it's clear enough. It looks like they might have some scattered clouds, maybe around 1,000-foot AGL. But looks open enough to get back in, so that's really good. Alright, that's autopilot off. I'm gonna go ahead and start making my turn so I can get over top of these. Guwasa, that's the place I would say the closest to an accident I've ever had is at Guwasa. Like 5 years ago when I was flying the air van. The turbocharged piston plane, and it takes like 7 seconds from like idle to full power for the turbos to spool up, and I had massive downdrafts, and I probably came across the number like right across the end of it at like, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet off, but that's close enough to, with full power mind you, it's close enough to definitely get your heart rate up, and I call them the leg shakers, where you're like, after you land, your adrenaline's pumping so much you just can't stop your legs from shaking. Thankfully, I haven't had one of those in a long time, so, but it still can happen though. All right, let's take a look at see what the we're gonna be landing on runway 03. Turn this to 3,400 feet for pattern altitude. That way I have kind of an idea on how much power I need to take out to keep my descent really below 1,000 feet, just because I have passengers on board and I don't want to hurt their ears on the way down. I'm just going to go ahead and push my prop forward. Start reducing my power, and that's going to slow my plane down. And if I need to, then I can start putting flaps in as well. That way I don't have to increase my descent down. I can just slow the speed down and keep the descent about the same. So actually looking a lot better on this other side. The clouds are quite a bit lower, so that's hopeful. Actually turn my OBS now to runway 030. It's a nice line on here. It gives me kind of the orientation. Well, not kind of. It gives me the orientation of the actual runway. Looks like this will be doable. Lots of clouds kind of everywhere, but they're still kind of just scattered, so should be able to get in there all right. All stations high, 120.1, November Tango Zulu 10 miles to the north. Passing 7,800 on descent, circuit time 29er Haya. We're still going through the Maya Mafu gap. Maya Mafu airstrip is right below me. We don't go to that one. anymore. I think years ago we did, but we'll be coming back up this exact same route to go up to Guasa next. So I'm going to film that as a full-on video, probably up to Guasa, get some coffee, and then on to Goroka. So more of a vlog, kind of on the ground content. So if you haven't seen, if this is already posted, check out the next video after this for that. Or wait till the next time I post, which is like Sundays and Thursdays. When there is a lot of clouds like this, I'm never going to allow myself to get down into something unless I know 100% that I can get back out of there. So I'm never going to descend into a hole going, oh, I can get down there, unless I know 100% that it's either perfectly clear underneath or that I can get back up out of there safely. So today, I mean, it's just like a scattered to broken along the ground, just a little bit of ground fog. Probably looks a little bit different on the cameras. Yeah, it always looks better on the cameras than it does in real life, but I like days like this. It makes it more challenging, other than just perfectly clear. And I love when the mountains pop out of clouds like this. So beautiful. There's just so much to look at here. All stations, Haya, 120.1 November Tango, Zulu, 5 miles to the north, 5,200 will be joining circuit, flying overhead for right downwind. All stations, Haya. Morsby 120.1 November Tango, Zulu. I won't be able to get him on that one. Morsby 6598 November Tango, Zulu.
November Tango, Zulu, both stand by.
Alright, selectors and brakes. Pause is turned off. My VREF, which is my approach speed, we're at 6,500, so 66 knots. Or 6,500, so I'm sorry, 70 knots. I'm gonna say, that doesn't sound right. Lights and inlet. If we have to go around, we already talked about power up 20 degrees, pitch for 73, right hand turn, and then followed by a left hand teardrop out. Prop and harnesses. We'll do harness in a second. Morsby 6598 November Tango Zulu in the circuit. Haya, report after landing. Alright, where are we? Alright, it should just be right off my left wing. Let's be over top of that ridge because I do not see it. 3 miles away. 20 degrees of flap, or correction, 10 degrees of flaps. We have prop and harness. I'm going to do harness later on just because I have to do a right-hand pattern and it's hard to see if you have your harnesses locked, your seatbelt harnesses. Alright, it should just be right over top of this ridge because I don't see it anywhere and I'm 2 miles. Going 70 knots on final, 80 knots base, 90 knots downwind. People have said, why do you say it backwards like that? Well, it's because I already have 70 in here, and I just do the math backwards. I just add 10 onto each one. So I see 70, 80, and then 90. 90 is what I want right now. So I'm slowing down to 100 knots, and then I'll join into a right downwind, and then continue slowing down to 90 knots. Almost at pattern altitude. Turn final 2800. Alright, that ridge right across there, I'm supposed to be on the other side of that for my downwind. It's going to be a little bit more of an interesting pattern. Alright, well, that looks nice. Let's head on over here. Look at all the standing water on the field, all those shiny spots. That's a lot of water. It's going to be very slippery. Alright, rest of the pattern looks actually pretty decent. Okay, now it's plenty wide enough for my pattern. Go 20 degrees of flaps. No, this is nice. Okay. Alright, I need to go right through there typically, but because there's a bunch of clouds right where I need to go, it looks like I'm going to go around the next mountain and then have a really long final, looks like. Yeah. That's cutting it too tight in there. All right, let's see. I need to go right through here. Start slowing to 80 knots, getting down to 2,800 feet.
500.
Harness now. Go full flaps. Harness, checklist is complete. We'll do SAR on the ground. Oh, this is where I want. Gotta make sure. Yeah, the Mallet looks good here. 170 knots. We'll just hug this hill over here to the left.
$500.
I got a little bird in front of me. There he goes, taking a dive bomb. We'll get over here so we can get on center line. I used to have people come out here all the time back in like the 80s and 90s, but there aren't any missionaries out here anymore. Because it's slippery, I've got 2 knots of tailwind. I want to really make sure my speeds are dead on so that I can not have anything push me in that I don't need. There's 70 knots. We are now committed. You can see the water all splashing up over top of my windshield from the prop. A little idle and go really slow up here because it's really slippery up here too. Anyways guys, if you guys thought that was exciting, give it a thumbs up. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of standing water out. So it doesn't look like their drains are quite working that great. Anyways, thanks for joining along. Give the video a thumbs up. Check out my Patreon page if you guys want to see more on the ground content. I do have a video out here I've done before. And welcome to Haya. Like a sponge as you roll over the ground. The water just squirts out. Moresby 6538, November Tango Zulu on the ground. Haya, cancel SAR.
November Tango Zulu, Haya SAR stabilized.
November Tango Zulu. All right, welcome to Haya.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome.